Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis, and today I want to talk about the main draw for Guardian games outside of the class competition, which hunters seem like they're in a bit of an early lead, but that's kind of expected due to population. We'll have to see how the balancing goes, but the main key, the main draw is what's on my back, and that's Heir Apparent. So I want to tell you guys how to get it first, how to finish the catalyst, and then finally what it takes to actually complete the thing. So here we go. Alright, so first thing that you're going to need to do for Guardian games, make sure you kick the thing off. You need to go to Zavala and kick off the actual event with him. He's going to let you know it's time for Guardian games. You're going to need to pick your class item from him. Then you need to go speak with Eva Levante. She's going to have you get a quest to go get 100 laurels, which can be done equipping your class item. And then you jump into the Guardian games playlist. And you're going to use this for a couple of places. So if you're a Titan, it's going to say Titans, Warlock, Warlock, Hunter, Hunter, no big deal. When you click on it, you're going to see either buffs or debuffs, depending on if your class won the previous day. But either way, the main thing about the Guardian Game Strike playlist is the fact that you're going to only match up with your class, which means all the laurels that drop are going to be dropping of your class, which means you actually have a chance to get bonuses. The big thing you need to do is just make sure you equip your class item for Guardian games. Mine's Lion's Pride. Everybody's is going to look a little different, but if you don't have this on, you're basically going to make no progress on any of these steps. So if you're going to do anything for Guardian games, equip your class item for Guardian games and just leave it there. Now, it's your choice if you want to level it up. Nothing in that you do for most of these pieces are going to be very high level. So, I mean, I have my class item that I've leveled up to 10 energy. Honestly, I probably wouldn't worry about it. This stuff isn't too, killer or difficult. So probably just, equip it for what you need to. Then once you've got all of your stuff done, that's fine. And that's a separate piece. But overall, if you're doing anything, trying to get laurels, that type of stuff, make sure you have it equipped. So once you get your 100 laurels and you head back to Eva Levante, she's going to give you the actual quest to get the Heir Apparent exotic. Now, it has two steps to it. One of them is to earn laurels. Now, laurels are earned in two ways. One, when you kill a major enemy, and that's going to be from anything from a boss to an orange bar. Basically, anything that's not a red bar enemy in most activities are going to be considered, dropping laurels in chunks, like 3, 4, something like that. Now, the other way you're going to see laurels drop are from abilities. Now, there are going to be a few exotics for each class that are going to help with ability drops. And this is kind of similar to last year. They changed it up so it's not as much about that. The laurels are more of a currency this year. But there are some exotics that are going to help you get your laurels up much more frequently. For example, how often do you get to do a shoulder charge when you run with Mark 44 stand-asides? Well, hits with these abilities recharge a portion of your melee energy. Typically, you're going to get most of your melee energy back, if not half of it. So running around and, getting melee energy with Mark 44 stand-asides, probably going to be using that shoulder charge a lot. It's a quick way to do a whole bunch of kills, and most of the kills you're going to be getting are going to be a little bit more powerful and also dropping laurels. So that's one way. Take a hunter, for example. I did this last year, and it was, again, you may not have these, but if you do, it works. Liar's Handshake. Using your arc melee ability and being hit by a melee attack will allow you to follow up with an extremely powerful melee counterpunch that will heal you. So you get healed, and you do a powerful melee, and you continually make laurels because it's got this like cross counter like buff on you, and it counts as a melee. Take one for Warlocks. You're going to go ahead and grab the good old Sun Bracers, and you can pair that with like Celestial Fire, getting kills with enemies. So if you're floating in air, take those benefits into play, and then you're chunking out like 4 or 5 solar grenades. You're going to get a lot of kills there as well. So there are ways to make efficient use of your abilities. But the idea is, if I'm just using my character, I'm sitting in the back shooting my pulse rifle, I'm like, ooh, I'm just shooting away. The only time laurels are going to drop are from majors. But if you're using your abilities, your supers, and so are your teammates, you're going to see a lot more laurels on the ground. So remember, if you're playing in that class, the Guardian Game Strike playlist, you're going to be all paired up with the same class, so any laurels drop have a chance to give you bonus, so it goes a little faster. But you have to pick them up on the ground. That is the big key. The Wreathed in Laurels piece of the quest, where you need 50 laurels, you have to pick them up. The ones from Gambit and the ones from Crucible do not count. So make sure you're running that Guardian Game Strike playlist. It might take you 1 strike to do that. It's not going to take very long. Second piece to get the machine gun focused is going to be defeat 100 combatants with machine guns in the daily focus playlist. My advice, wait for it to probably be strikes. It's going to be the easiest one because you're always likely to have ammo and you can actually queue up from those strikes, and you can go hit a rally flag basically anywhere. So go to destinations, for example. Say if you queue up from the tower, you won't have a ton of ammo. But, you know, if you go to the EDZ, you hit a rally flag, something like this, you fill up your ammo, and then from EDZ, you can queue directly into the Guardian Game Strike playlist. You'll have, you know, full ammo. All you need is 100 combatant kills with machine guns in the Daily Focus playlist. How do you know what the Daily Focus is? Well, I tweeted out a calendar, stage 1, or you can check your medal case, where you can see Daily Focus says Crucible. You need 100 combatants killed with machine guns in the Daily Focus playlist. If you can get 100 kills with combatants in one day in the Crucible, you are hogging the heavy ammo like crazy, and you might get more in Gambit if you spec out to, Scavenger, Ammo Finder, and just get lucky, but again, you'll be hoarding the heavy ammo. My advice, wait to do this step until strikes are up. It's going to be once every 3 days, so just get in the rotation. The first day was strikes, second day was Crucible, third day is going to be Gambit, so the fourth day, Friday, is going to be back into strikes. Then you got Saturday, Sunday. Monday is going to be strikes. So if you don't get it on those 3 days, keep counting out, from the beginning, and you can figure out which one's going to be. But it goes strikes, Crucible, Gambit in that rotation. So if you see something here, another place that you can look for it, if you just go to your director in general, up there in your milestones category, when you pop it out, Daily Focus is Crucible. So that is the main places. You have to get 100 combatant kills with machine guns in the Daily Focus playlist, bonus points for defeating Guardians. So theoretically, you could probably get less in Crucible, but unless you're just really good at hoarding heavy ammo, my advice, probably wait for strikes. It's just going to be a lot easier and less of a headache and just less time. And remember, it can be any machine gun. Thermal erosion, if you've got Xenophage. You probably don't have Heir Apparent because you're trying to get it. But again, I had Thunderlord that I used earlier. Any machine gun will do. And honestly, if you're really lacking on a machine gun and you're new and you've seen one of these drop, go grab the blue machine gun right here. And you can literally pull it out of your collections because you probably broke it down like 50 times. So keep that in mind. That's a backup if you need a machine gun. That one still counts. Once you're done with the 100 combatant kills, the machine gun will be yours. And then from there, you can work on the next step, the Catalyst. Now, the Catalyst, competitive Catalyst, has 3 steps to it. What the Catalyst is going to do is going to make the shield do 75% damage reduction, which is pretty substantial. So if you do have the shield up, you're going to be a bit beefier. And then if the shield drops, it's going to refill part of your clip directly into your magazine if the shield breaks. So if you do have that shield bust, you're going to be able to pump out a decent amount more damage before potentially, bad things happen. So step 1 is going to be medal points. Now, medal points, you're going to need 50 of them. If you haven't seen how all this works, basically if you talk to Eva Levante, you've got different medals. Bronze are going to be 1 point, silvers are going to be 2, gold are going to be 5, and then you've got platinums, which are worth 15. My advice, do platinums. They're not that hard to do. So take this one, for example. Platinum cards for Nightfalls, you need 200 laurels. So you're probably going to need to run the Guardian Games Strike playlist maybe once, maybe twice. And then honestly, if you're just kind of up in the fight, continually killing stuff and picking up laurels, using your abilities and stuff like that, you might have to bounce back and forth once or twice. It goes fairly quickly. I probably did Nightfall. Then I went to, the Strike playlist, back to a Nightfall Strike playlist. It was done in like 4 or 5. It was pretty quick. But the idea is you need 50 points for medals. If you do a random Guardian Games Strike playlist, it's going to give you 1 bronze. Well, if you go in there, pick this one up. It's only 100. You should probably get 100 for every strike that you run, and a gold is going to give you 5. Well, once you get up to 200, go run a Nightfall. That one's going to give you 15 points. You literally probably only need to do 3 Nightfalls and a gold, and you're done. And a couple, sprinkled in between to make sure you have enough laurels. So it's not really too bad. 5, 6, 7 strikes, really not too terrible. After that, you need to do 3 more contender cards. So to get the big medals, like gold and platinum, you're going to need to do contender cards anyway. After that, you're going to need to do 3 more. My advice, honestly, is to do the Nightfall. Now, depends on how active you are in the strike. Golds aren't difficult, but they are a bit more specific because you might need solar kills or void kills or stasis kills. Now, you probably need less, so if you have a good loadout for a certain one that you get, probably not going to be that hard. But on the other side, if you do Nightfalls, it just literally says any kills. It might take you 2 kills, but remember, if you queue up for a Nightfall, it can be the lowest level Nightfall and it still counts. So come down here, Nightfall Adept 1230. Most likely you're all 1230 if you're messing with this stuff. The lowest difficulty Nightfall, everything still counts. So just get in the mix, kill stuff. It may take you once or twice, but it's really easy. It's match made. Nothing's really going to kill you in here, so not too hard. And the idea is you're not trying to go for anything too specific, because if you are trying to go specific, like for solar, arc, or void, like you could be going a bit more, particular, but need a solar weapon and you change my loadout. Literally just get this one if you have the 200 laurels. Now, if you don't, grab this one, queue up for a strike, run that once or twice, knock the progress out, and then once you've got the 200, come over here and make your progress. So it's up to you, but after you get your 50 total points, then you need to do 3 more cards. However you get them done, it is up to you. My advice, strikes are going to be the easiest one to do because, again, fairly cheap and fairly easy to knock out. The final step is going to be defeat combatants with machine guns in the daily focused playlist. Now, you need 90 competitive spirit collected. Now, when I was going through and doing this, I got this done in 1 strike. It was in the Corrupted. There's a lot of enemies in there because, there's a lot of ads that spawn at the boss, so that worked out. It might take you 2 strikes, but again, same as before. My advice is to wait for the daily focus playlist to be strikes, because you need a certain number of machine gun kills. Precision final blows grant bonus progress. So find yourself a decent machine gun. Remember, Xenophage doesn't have precision kills. You actually have Heir Apparent now, so you could theoretically use that. Thermal erosion is a bit erratic because it is, 900 rounds per minute. It's a bit spastic. One that actually worked really well for me, surprisingly, Thunderlord. I got it done in 1 strike. The lightning kills actually counted from it as well, and Thunderlord's a slower RPM, so getting those precision kills was a bit easier. And then remember, when you're going for any of these machine gun kills, including the step I'm going to tell you next, try and equip anything you can for machine guns. Machine gun ammo finder on your helmet. Machine gun loader on your arms. Machine gun reserves. Just max out the chest piece you're wearing and don't worry about anything else. Machine gun scavenger. Just go full machine gun perks on every possible thing you can do. And that way you're always picking up more ammo, seeing more ammo drop, and you're able to hold more ammo, so you're just always able to do more. That's my advice. It's not overly difficult, just my advice. Again, it's so easy. If it's a strike playlist day like it was yesterday, click right here, jump in. Doesn't honestly take too long, and 2 strikes, you'll probably be done with that 90 spirit collected. Just use, your machine gun for basically every kill that you can. Focus on the little guys with your machine gun so you get easy kills, as opposed to trying to pump like 200 rounds into a boss for 1 kill. Kill every other enemy around him. Let your other friends take care of the boss and get a lot of kills that way. It's not really that difficult. Didn't take too long. The longest part for the competitive Catalyst whole progress step we're talking about here is honestly going to be first the medal points. Just takes a while to go through, have enough laurels, buy a contender card, get a medal, and do the platinums a few times, and then 3 contender cards. If you have enough laurels, just one after another, 4 or 5 strikes, probably going to be done. After all of that, you have 1 more piece. Once you've actually got the catalyst unlocked, then you need to do the final step, and it's 700 kills with Heir Apparent. Best place to do that is going to be on the moon. And go up to Altars of Sorrow. Right up here. You're going to have a constant wave of enemies that is going to be running from one point to another. They continually spawn, and there's probably going to be quite a few people doing this. Now, the other piece to keep in mind, once you're on the moon, you can go from Sorrow's Harbor down to Eris, and you can actually pop a rally flag right next to each other. If you've spent some time on the moon, you might have some currency. If you don't, not as big of a deal. But again, all you got to do is load up Sorrow's Harbor, go through as much ammo as you can. If you run out of ammo and you're not seeing any drop, go find a public event, a rally flag somewhere. If there's a public event somewhere else on the moon like this, pop down here to Eris. If you don't have the currency I'm talking about, I'll show you about in a second. Run up here, hit the rally flag, and then go right back up to Altars of Sorrow. If you've been playing for a while, you've been around since Shadowkeep, and you have Phantasmal Fragments, it only takes 5 of those to drop a rally flag next to Eris, and you just bounce back and forth. Took me like 5 or 6 rally flags, and, 700 kills later, not too bad. Same principle applies. If you're going through trying to kill a whole bunch of enemies, go for the smaller, easy kills. Don't dump 500 bullets into one of the major bosses that are walking between, the 2 main points. Focus on every other little guy that takes 1 or 2 bullets, and this will go a lot faster. So, that's it. That's basically it. You've got the first steps where you earn laurels and get the 100 kills in the daily focus playlist. Second time around, you need the medals, contender cards, and then again, the 90 collective spirit, or competitive spirit, I should say, in the, again, daily focus playlist. So say the first time through, you get your 50 laurels and you don't have that much time to play, knock out your 100 kills with the machine gun on a strike day. Wait 2 days, come back, in between, you know, the strike playlist, work on your medals over the course of 2 or 3 days. Come back, and then when it strikes again, then go knock out the daily focus, and then you can head to Altars of Sorrow and be completely done. And when you're finally done, you will have the complete and maxed out Heir Apparent with Catalyst, increases the arc shield's durability, and partially reloads the magazine if it's destroyed. And that is it. It's a pretty cool machine gun overall. It's one I forget. I just don't love that you gotta have it spun up the whole time, but it does have a lot of bullets. Puts out a pretty good amount of damage, and again, it's kind of a fun thing to use. And overall, the actual armor shield, not bad. It's a pretty beefy overshield, and now with the Catalyst, it's even beefier. So if you enjoyed this video, drop a like below. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and the alert bell. It's a nice free way to support the channel if you did. If you have any questions or other things that I didn't mention in here, please throw those in the comments, or if you just want to say hello, throw that in there as well. You guys can also find me over on Twitter. It's just Ebontis, and then over on Twitter, or on Twitch, I should say, twitch.tv/Ebontis. So you guys can find me everywhere under Ebontis. If you found the cheetah, it's probably me. Thank you all very much. I'll see you soon.